Is my voice audible? Alright. So just give me a moment. Let's wait for a few minutes. Let others join the class and then we're going to start with the class. Today we are going to do a case study on Vodafone. Is my voice okay? Satish, Kelvin, Sandeep, Samo, Mohammed, Abdul and Naeem? Fine. So we are just going to wait for 2 minutes, okay, for the others to join, and if others are not joining in 2 minutes, then we are going to start with the case study. Fine, everyone? So let's wait for 2 minutes. Good evening, Abdul. How are you? Satish Kumar, are you there? Are you able to hear me well? Abdul? Good, very good evening, Kelvin. Fine. Let's get started. Using business principles to support ethical communication. Okay. So let's talk about Vodafone. That is our service provider, telephone service provider, right? Now so mobile phone service provider. Okay. And we can also use dongles from Vodafone. In 1985, the first mobile call was made on Vodafone network. So the first call which was made on Vodafone network was in 1985. Okay, this is now one of the largest telecommunication companies in the world. In the UK alone, more than 15 million people use the Vodafone service. So the first call was made on Vodafone network in 1985. It now has interests in 27 countries and its partners networks in a further 27 countries. Good evening, Sati. Its vision is to be the world's mobile communication leader. This case study looks at how Vodafone business principles underpin the way in which it communicates with all stakeholders. So stakeholders, they can be shareholders, but not all shareholders are stakeholders, right? I told you, right? Who are stakeholders? The customers, the people who work for a company, who have the shareholders, right? So all stakeholders are not shareholders, okay? But all shareholders are stakeholders. When customers make key decisions about mobile phone and networks they would like to use, they need details that make sense, right? So before we, before we go for any service, whether it's Vodafone service or Idea, we just want to, we need all the details so that we can see if it suits our interest or not, if it is going to make sense for us or not, if it is going to be, it is going to be, like good for us or not, right? How well we can utilize it. See, whenever we actually decide, we check for the suitable plan as per our needs. Whenever we decide to buy clothes or something else, or even if it is a mobile phone, there are so many stuffs available in the market. So we do research on internet, and we also do research from our friends. We collect all data, and then after reading and studying all the data, we decide which one is going to suit our interest. Every service is good, obviously, for sure, but the one which suits our interest the best, okay, is best for us, right? And every company has got a variety of plans, wide, diverse plans. So in that sense also, we need to see which plan is going to suit for us, right? And we also try to collect reviews from people who might be using that specific brand or thing, right? Now, they will want to be aware of charges and tariffs before committing themselves. They will also want to make comparisons between networks. While ethical communication is important for business, companies working in this sector need to make sure that their information is honest, clear, and easy to understand. See, if the telephone service provider, okay, like Vodafone, if they are saying that they are cutting, they are charging 2 rupees per call, and if it is not honest, okay, if it is not honest and it is not in clear language, it would be like no one will take their services. Even if they are taking it once, they'll discontinue it later on, right? So correct and honest information should be given to the customers so that they can make a suitable choice. This information will be used by customers to make the correct choice of mobile phone and tariff for their individual needs. Responsible business must think carefully, yes, must think carefully about how they communicate messages to the customers and other stakeholders. Every business or organization turns input from its environment into outputs that are returned to the world in which it operates. They have to be able to adapt and manage constant change. So change is the integral part of life and business, world. And those companies which adapt well to the change, they survive well in the market. In recent years, chiefly in high-tech industry, the rate of market change has become even faster. Every day the market is going to change. The customer is going to demand something else. New products and services are developed and launched more quickly and can be perceived as more complex. Customers and different stakeholders group want different information, but all want it to be relevant. So whatever information any company is providing, if it is relevant, then only I can make an appropriate choice, and then only I will appreciate that brand irrespective of whether I am taking its services or not, right? Otherwise, I will have develop a negative opinion about that specific brand if they are not giving me valid information at the backside of my mind, right? And I'm going to spread it. This is going to tarnish company's image, right? Right, Satish, Kelvin, Sandeep, Mohammed. Yes. In such a world, responsible businesses must think carefully about how they communicate messages to customers and other stakeholders. So we are done with this introduction part of this case study, that is Vodafone case study. Now I would want you to read it on your own so that you can follow it well. Okay, and if after reading it you are having any issues, you can even ask me again. Fine. Prabhavati, are you there? Is my voice okay? Prabhavati, are you there? You are not able to see. Other than Prabhavati, are others able to see the board properly? Prabhavati, why don't you rejoin the class again? How about now? Prabhavati, are you able to see the board properly now? For others, just read what is there on the board. Okay, so just read what is there on the board. Prabhavati, we are doing a Vodafone case study today. So the first call on the network of Vodafone was made in 1985, and they have 15 million users. Okay, 15 million people who use Vodafone services in 27 countries, and they even have partnered services in 27 another countries. So just read what is there on the board, and then we are going to switch over to the next page. Darshana. Today we are doing a case study on Vodafone. The first page I have already read and explained. Okay. Yes, Fadi, what is your question? Please let me know in the chat box itself. Darshana, just read the first page. I have already read and explained it to them. So now everyone is reading it on their own so that they can get the better understanding of this. So I would request you to read it as well. Yes, Fadi, what is your question? Just post it in the chat box itself. And others, just finish this part so that we can go to the second page of this. Okay, Prabhavati is done. Others, just finish it fast. Padi, Darshana, just read this. I'm giving you 3 minutes. Just try to finish this page in 3 minutes. Let's wait for Darshana to finish it. In the meanwhile, Padi, what is your question? Can you please post your question in the chat box? And Prabhavati, you were asking for business English classes. I have covered the business English topic, especially this thing, business English slangs and this thing, jargons. Okay, in the last class, so you can see the recording. But I'm still not done with it. Okay, I'm going to complete it in the next class. So please be there. Yes, yes. So please be there on Monday. I'm going to do business English only. There is some interesting stuff, especially like slangs and jargons and idioms related to business English. Okay, no issues. So you can see the recording, and I'm going to cover the rest. It's quite big and huge, so I was not able to cover it yesterday itself, the complete thing. I'll be finishing it in the next class. So please be there. In the meanwhile, Darshana, just finish this, please. Okay, Padi, what is your question? Can you please put your question in the chat box? Sandeep, are you done with it? Sandeep? Okay, fine. Let's go to the second page of this. Any questions, anyone out there? Now. Yes, Fadi, what was your question? You wanted to ask some question. So can you please post your question in the chat box? Yes, Fadi, please post your queries in the chat box. I'll answer your question. Now, second page. Channel and barriers forms of communication. There are two main ways of sending information, right? Okay. I'm going to explain it to you. See, like what they need to develop exactly. They take inputs from the environment. That means they are going to judge it from the they are going to survey the market. They're going to do survey of the market, and based on the survey, they're going to get the feedback or input what customer needs exactly. Okay, and then they're going to convert it into output. That means they are going to develop products accordingly, and then obviously they're going to return it to the customer so that they can use it. This is what it means. Fine. Now, there are two main ways of sending information: verbal, non-verbal communication. Verbal communication involves people talking to one another. Non-verbal contact may include visual and written material. If verbal communication is face-to-face, then there is non-verbal element through body language, right? It is important to Vodafone to reduce the number and types of barriers to ensure its messages are delivered and understood. Okay? Effective communication. Successful communication relies on information being sent, received and understood, right? So if I have some information and if it is received well and understood well, then only it would be an effective communication, right? This process can be seen as a flow between sender and receiver. When there is an obstacle to this process, a barrier to good communication is created. Suppose, I am the sender, you are the receiver, okay? And now suppose, there is an internet fluctuation at my end, okay? Then it would be an obstacle, right? It won't be an effective communication because, things won't reach to you as it should be, right? These obstacles might be details which are not clear, complex, but in case of, telephone services like that of Vodafone, the obstacles with which they might be facing is details are not clear. If I have something to convey and if I'm conveying it in complex language, then it would act as a barrier to communication. Complicated technical terms or other jargon. And if I'm using complicated terms, if you're not aware of that same vocabulary, then it would be a barrier to communication. This is sometimes referred to as noise. It is important to Vodafone to reduce the number and types of barriers to ensure its messages are delivered and understood. Fine. Now you can read this page and then we are going to go to the third page. Fine, everyone. Abdul, Fadiz, Prabha, Naeem, Darshana, Mohammed, Samo, Sandeep, Kelvin and Satish. Yeah. Okay. Once you're done, just let me know. Okay. How about others? Are you done with this? Okay, let's go to the third page of this. Okay. Now, external communication with customers. Vodafone has developed a set of 10 business principles. Okay. These business principles give a plain and moral pathway to help guide the actions of employees. One principle relates to communication, where Vodafone states, we will communicate openly and transparently with all our stakeholders within the bounds of commercial confidentiality. Okay, this is the first rule they follow. They are being transparent. They communicate openly to all the stakeholders. Vodafone expects these principles to help reduce barriers to communication. They ensure that its messages, verbal and non-verbal, are clearly understood. Why they have designed these business principles? So that their message can be conveyed effectively and clearly understood. Verbal communication. Vodafone needs to be in direct contact with its customers through verbal communication. Okay. The company, through its stores or contact centers, has many opportunities for its trained staff to talk to customers about issues, right? Whenever we call at the customer service number, the trained staff speaks to us, right? They are being trained in the manner so that, they can keep the customers happy. They can convey the message appropriately. Fine. Okay. Okay. Now, non-verbal communication covers a wide range of methods. These include visual elements such as Vodafone logo, advertisements in newspapers, TV and other media, as well as the company's image. This helps to determine brand positioning. This is how others view the company in relation to its rivals, right? Brand positioning involves creating an image by which people recognize what a brand stands for. Like you might have heard about Zuzu, right? It is associated with which telecom company? Tell me. I have asked one question for you. Zuzu is associated with which company? Telecom company. Yes. You don't know? How about others? Prabhavati? Anyone? Darshana? Zuzus are associated with which company? This one I am talking about. Just click on the link which is there in the chat box. They are associated with Vodafone. You might have seen Vodafone advertisements in which you will see Zuzus, right? Just click on the link which is there in the chat box. You haven't seen that advertisement? Not working? How about others? This is not working for you? Wait. Just give me a moment. I just open this. No. Wait. Just give me a moment. I don't know how you don't know about it. I'm going to put it on the board. Okay? Just give me a moment. See, Zuzus are associated with Vodafone only. Okay? So I'm going to show you. You might have seen it, but you might be, wait. Just give me a moment. I'm just going to put it on the board. Wait, I'm just going to put it on the board. I have the image. No. You are wrong. It's like Zuzus. These characters are known as Zuzus and these are associated with Vodafone only. Okay, you might have seen it, the ad in TV. Who all have seen that ad? So they are associated with Vodafone. Right everyone? Right Kelvin? Yeah, they are known as Zuzus. This is the name. Yes. So these characters, you might have seen the ad, like on this non-verbal ads on this Facebook also, they keep on publishing it. These characters with, wishing Happy New Year to each other, fighting with each other or something else, right? So this is how they promote their services, by using this character. Is it clear everyone? Okay, so they are Zuzus. Now, okay. Yes. Brand positioning involves creating an image by which people recognize what a brand stands for. See, they actually have some, everyone, presents their brand in a certain way. So they actually present it in a funny way. These characters are very funny. They fight with each other. They use their own language. And every time they come up with a new ad, Is it clear? Okay. TV and other, okay. This is how others view the company in relation to its rivals. Brand positioning involves creating an image by which people recognize what a brand stands for. Like for example, Amul. There is one girl for Amul, right? We actually, that is the logo for Amul, right? That girl, a turly butterly girl, right? Amul girl, you must be knowing, right? So we recognize the brand through that girl, right? And that logo is there, in the, if you happen to see the, like carton of this Amul butter, that girl will be there, right? This girl I'm talking about. Yeah. So she is very famous, okay? And she is associated with Amul, yeah, since long. Vodafone helps people enjoy richer communication anywhere, anytime. Always reliable, always easy, always great value. Passionately delivered. Okay? Other forms of non-verbal communication may include the sales and information literature found in Vodafone's shop. The company also uses the SMS services to contact some customers. Okay? Now, keeping the customers loyal, that means a particular customer sticking to the brand for a, like through lifelong, throughout his life. How do they do this? Gaining the loyalty of customers is not just about giving them products and services. According to Vodafone's principles, okay, what they say? Yes. According to Vodafone's principles, it is also about connecting openly and transparently. So these people believe that if they are connecting to their customers openly and transparently, they can, like keep them loyal throughout their life. They will never discontinue with the services of Vodafone. One of the key challenges is how to shorten complex arguments so that customers and other stakeholders understand them easily. Vodafone has to convey details of a range of technical data about phones, networks, and base stations. Vodafone is committed to providing clear details for customers about new developments in research. This is so it can remain true to its communication principles. Now, forms of communication. Vodafone engages in many forms of communication with its customers. So they just not only keep in touch through customer services, they also keep in touch through advertisements and other stuff. Okay. These include promotion and sales material. This involves making sure that Vodafone advertising material is accurate, clear, and understandable. Okay. The content of these materials closely follow Vodafone business principles in providing open, accurate, and transparent information. So these people stress on, like sharing appropriate and transparent information. Okay. They help to inform and also they keep updated. They keep the customers updated on kind of research which is going on there in their company and the kind of products they'll be launching, or which might be coming in the market. Okay. They help to inform stakeholders responsibly as well as promote Vodafone's range of products and services. Vodafone was fully behind the government's legislation to promote the responsible use of mobile phones and cards. It took complex legal material and translated it to make it easy to understand. It created a campaign to raise customers' awareness both of the new law and appropriate use of mobile phone in relation to it. So, these people, they have actually tied up with the government to make the customers aware of the, like how they need to use phone while driving. Okay, the laws they need to follow. Now, some customers are concerned about alleged health effects from mobile phones. Vodafone needs to convey clearly the findings of the latest scientific research. So some people are concerned actually about how, like phones affect their health. So they actually have conveyed clearly through the latest research which might be there in the market to the customers how it affects. This is a very complex technical area. Vodafone needs to ensure that it explains the jargon, communicates complex signs, and points out the relevance without losing the sense of science. Okay, so see, conveying the scientific information to general people is not that easy, but they convey it in a simple and transparent language, so that it should be as it is, and in simple language, so that people can understand it, and it should be relevant also. In order to keep it relevant, they just translate it as it is, but it's just presented to the people in simple language. Fine. This is how they keep the customers, like tied to them throughout their life. I mean, they keep their customers loyal. Fine. Is it here? Satish, Kelvin, Sandeep, Mohammed, Padi, Prabha, Naeem, Darshana, Kelvin. Now you have to read this till here, and then we are going to scroll it down. Okay. You can do the remaining parts of this, and then we're going to switch over to the next page. Just do the remaining parts of this. Yeah. Are you done with the complete thing? Just read the remaining parts of this, please. Once you are done, just type that in the chat box. Done? Is everyone done with it? Shall we go to the next page? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next thing. Now, external communication with other stakeholders. The stakeholder groups as well as customers, Vodafone has number of other key stakeholder groups that are important to its business, right? Vodafone applies the same open and transparent communication principles here. Communication with such a wide variety, see they have, every company has got wide variety of stakeholders and same is applicable to Vodafone. So they need to communicate with every stakeholder in a different manner, right? They just cannot talk to every stakeholder in a similar manner, right? It has the program to engage with all these groups on a range of issues. Good communication is a two-way process, right? So good communication is a two-way process. That means both the parties like actively participating. It enables Vodafone to listen to issues, thoughts and concerns from all its stakeholders. These are viewed and reflected back inside the company. Vodafone can then make adjustments to its strategy as required. So they speak to them, they take their feedback and then they review their policy and strategy. I mean, they make adjustments in their strategy. In addition, it can update these groups on what it is doing as a business. Consultation. Consultation takes place all the time with the key stakeholders. Vodafone's priority is to develop and maintain dialogue with them. Talking to stakeholders is an open process. Individuals or groups who might have a view or be affected by Vodafone's actions are given chance to have their points discussed. Good communication is a two-way process. The importance of feedback. The process also helps Vodafone obtain feedback. When they talk to their stakeholders, they get the feedback because once they get feedback from different sources, it's good for them. It's for their own betterment, right? It frequently comes from focus groups where customers can give their views and opinions. Feedback is also received through the round-the-table sessions with non-governmental organizations. These meetings enable managers from Vodafone to seek the views of key stakeholders. Open and transparent behavior encourages mutual trust. So see, they are open and transparent. They convey what they do. They keep it transparent. So this actually helps them in getting the trust from the stakeholders and respect. Okay, and they keep the channels of communication open as well. The feedback process. The process helps those making decisions to understand where the business is going in and where it needs to focus. So on the basis of feedback, the type of feedback they get, they can improve on the side which is not good, and they also get to know which part of the business is doing well and which one needs more attention. The company is then able to consider all views and make appropriate changes or redirect its priorities. Okay, so the sector which might be doing very well, it might not need their focus at this point of time. Instead, the side which is not doing well, the part of the business which is not doing well, it should be the priority for them. This is what they get to know through feedback. Okay, fine. Is it clear? Is it clear? Any questions? Okay. Now, okay, it is not always possible for the company to act on the views of stakeholders. Sometimes their requirements may not fit with Vodafone's wider business strategy. When this happens, see, sometimes company cannot cater the needs of the customers all the time. Sometimes they might not be not able to do it, although they want to. When this happens, Vodafone will still behave in line with business principles and explain clearly why is it not possible to act in a particular way. Okay. Okay. The open and transparent behavior encourages mutual trust and respect for different views and positions. It ensures that channels of communication remain open. Press releases are another way of informing a wider audience. Okay. Okay. Public relations helps Vodafone to create positive news about how it makes its responsibilities seriously, takes its responsibilities seriously. So you can go through this page on your own, and then we can switch back to the next page. Okay. Once you're done till here, please just let me know. I'm going to scroll it down. Okay. Right? They won't stick to them for many years. Okay, and they won't bring more customers to them. So in order to do that, they should communicate as these Vodafone people do. They must communicate openly and transparently, and they should also clarify to the customers because of which they are making profit, how they take their decisions. Okay. Vodafone's principles of open and transparent communication builds trust and loyalty with customers and employees. So they are open and transparent in as far as the communication goes with every stakeholder associated with them, whether it's an employee or the shareholder. Okay, so they keep their approaches transparent and open. Vodafone approach to communicating internally and externally with stakeholders is an investment in future. Why do they do it? Why they keep the this communication transparent with the internal and external stakeholders, so that they can win over the loyalty of the stakeholders, and it's like investment for the future. If you are keeping your employees happy, if you are being transparent, obviously they'll be productive for you and they'll stick to you, right? Its principle of open and transparent communication builds trust and loyalty with customers and employees. It also builds credibility with other stakeholders for its responsible stance on business issues. This ultimately makes it more profitable company. Okay, so they are being transparent. They take care of their stakeholders. They communicate the information. When in many organizations, they have a very robust infrastructure, but communication doesn't flow well. Owing to that, they are not as successful as they should be. And every organization which takes care of this, that the communication is transparent, it flows easily, and there is no barrier to it. They'll be always able to complete things on time, and moreover customers will be loyal to them, stakeholders will appreciate them, and there won't be any confusion. No time will be wasted in there'll be less fights and troubles in the organization, I can say, because whenever the information is being distorted, right, or it is being manipulated, then only it creates problems, right? Otherwise, if it is transparent and if the company is being transparent, obviously it is going to be it is going to soar high in the sky in the ages to come, right? Any questions, anyone out there? If you have some questions for me, please do ask me. It's time to wrap up the class. But before I wrap up the class, I want you to ask me if you have anything to ask me. Okay, so thank you so much. See you on Monday. Please be then. I'll be covering business English. Okay. Many of you want me to cover take classes on business English. It has been long since we have covered anything in business English. As of now, these days we are just focusing on HR, business communication, and this case study. So I thought of covering business English as well, some topics from business English as well. Don't forget to fill the feedback form.